In today's data centers that host hundreds of thousands of servers, all operations are manually carried out by humans. The operational challenge in this new era of hyperscale and edge facilities places the industry at a crossroads. Data centers are, on one end, getting larger, whilst, on the other, smaller and more distributed. Human error is also behind most of the outages. How to address this? The answer lies in robotics. The idea of a lights-out data center is no longer science fiction. It's here today. Improved productivity, efficiency and safety, even in remote and harsh environments. Submer is proud to present 𝘱𝘳𝘦, the Autonomous Data Center Assistant. Our first step in the Submer robotics journey, pioneering automation for data centers of the future. Integrated with data center infrastructure management platforms, 𝘱𝘳𝘦 enables environmental monitoring, autonomous data center operations, and large-scale commissioning and decommissioning. 𝘱𝘱𝘦 is able to operate in collaborative environments together with other robots and humans. She is always learning, always improving, and every day smarter thanks to over-the-air updates. Future-proof your data center with 𝘱𝘱𝘦. Born in Submer Labs. Submer, data centers that make sense.
Hi, and welcome to the Submer Experience 2022. I'm 𝘱𝘬𝘭𝘏𝘬𝘢𝘬𝑚, I'm Submer's Marketing Director, and I welcome you to this Submer Experience, which is going to be super exciting. I'm going to take a look around all the agenda, so this is how this is going to be working. We have a retrospective on global trends with the two founders, then we'll go to business cases with our sales and marketing team, then we'll go to the company positioning with me and again the founders, then we'll go through the portfolio innovations with Justin and David, and then we'll go to the Submer vision with the founders again. It will be one part with the Submer Labs and the robotics development, which will be super fun, and then we'll go to the Smart Coolant, closing with the Submer Challenge. After this, there's a space for Q&A, but of course, at any time, you're welcome to ask any questions on the chat, because our team will be answering at all times. We'll be selecting the most common questions of the chat, and then we'll answer them live here with the team. Also, all of you voted for a challenge to win, to face here in the Submer Experience, and the challenge winner is take a bath into a SmartPod, which of course is going to be filled with Smart Coolant, with our fluid. And who is going to be facing this challenge? Well, you can vote who can be the team that faces this challenge. You can see in the screen the tag teams that you can vote depending on the performance here, or if you like them, if you don't. You have to vote. You will receive a link into the chat and also on your email, and you can vote at any time during this experience. Before the Submer Experience finishes, we'll say who is the team winner, and we'll face the challenge with them. And a quick reminder that we'll be doing highlights on the technology and how immersion cooling works, because last year on Submer Experience 2021, we went into a deep dive of the technology, so we are not going to repeat again everything, so we'll just go on the highlights of the technology. And now I want to give a warm welcome to Daniel Pope, our CEO.
Hi, Gloria.
Hi,
Great to be back here again.
Yeah,
and
me
thank
too.
you, everyone, for joining Submer Experience 2022. I'm going to be kicking it off with a retrospective on what's been going on here for the last year, I guess. I'd say 12 months ago, we launched the Megapod, which was an awesome announcement from our side. It's our containerized data center in a box, turnkey, mostly focused on large-scale edge deployments. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll see some footage of some of the systems that have been deployed this year. Then one of the most exciting announcements, our partnership with Intel, where we tackled together driving industry cooling standards and how the continuity of Moore's law is going to be supported thanks to immersion. The Submer solutions, where our esteemed partners are packaging systems to make the adoption of immersion easy and simple and straightforward, and we're going to be announcing some very interesting ones as well during the event. We also announced our brand focuses, which is splitting up the work and the activities and the products that we have here at Submer into different kind of business units, where we focus on cooling, scaling, and innovation. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail and what fits into each one of those in further down the presentation. The launch of Ada at OCP Global Summit and Supercomputing 21.
That was fun.
A super fun launch. Very exciting. People loved it. The platform's evolving. We're going to get you up to speed on what's happening and where it's going. So exciting stuff there as well. Obviously, one of the key announcements this year has been the closing of our funding round that Paul will share a little bit more of detail about, but it's enabling us for acceleration and growth. And connecting with that, we've already landed our operations in APAC. We have teams on the ground. And I am extremely excited to announce also the enablement of our North America Gigafactory. So the Submer Gigafactory, and we like to call it a Gigafactory because it's designed to deliver 1 gigawatt of immersion cooling technology per year. And with that, I'd also like to tap into the retrospective of how the ecosystem has grown, how we've onboarded a massive number of pioneers that are moving into the space that are helping deliver the message and the technology of Submer, packaging, how we take technology to market. A big thank you to all of them. Unfortunately, not all the logos fit on this page, but if you're not there, we thank you anyway. And I would also like to mention that as we expand into APAC, we have special interest in bringing on board MEP firms, data center design firms, data center builders in the region that would like to join this ecosystem and help us tackle that market as we land. And also, of course, a big thank you to all the communities and collaborators where we're very active, like OCP and others. And with that, I'd like to introduce some of our partners that are joining us today.
Hello, my name is Mohan Kumar. I'm a fellow at Intel Corporation. Recently, there is growing interest in the computer industry for immersion cooling. This is motivated by a few key inflection points. First is performance. Higher power and thermal densities are pushing air cooling to its limits, and the industry is looking for a solution with better thermal performance. Immersion cooling, which can offer an order of magnitude higher cooling capability compared to air, is emerging as the answer here. Air cooling requires a hierarchy of fans in the data center, from the server fans to the various levels of data center air handlers. Immersion cooling eliminates the need for these fans, need for the hot aisles and cold aisles, and the air handlers, resulting in improved efficiency and CapEx savings. And last but not least, immersion cooling supports sustainability by reducing the operational carbon footprint of the data center. This is done by elimination of the fans, which in turn eliminates fan power, and hence immersion cooling overall reduces the power consumption, thus reducing the carbon footprint. Our partnership with Submer helps our customers not only achieve better thermal performance, but also supports Intel and our customers' sustainability goals. As such, we are currently partnered with Submer on a few key projects, born in immersion server technologies, developing an innovative solution for cooling in edge, and heat recapture and reuse technologies.
Thank you for your kind words. And now, please allow me to introduce you to Paul Biles, my co-founder and dear friend, who's going to be talking about global trends and facts.
Hi, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining 1 year later from the previous Submer Experience. Very excited to be here. Some trends on the industry. Just marketing handpicked a few numbers that help understand the massive growth of the data center industry. For instance, the massive amounts of emails being sent, which translate into a lot of CO2 emissions, or the amount of data, 200 zettabytes of data by 2025. So everything is growing. Also, we have this screen here submerged in fluid, which shows some of these extra data points, the fluid story. But what happened this year, this exciting news of this growth round that we got from Planet First and Norsken VC, these two funds, basically with these core values of sustainability and positive impact for the environment, they did an extensive due diligence. I think they spent more than $500,000 with expert advisors in the market to understand all these trends in the industry and why invest in Submer. And just some high-level things that we think are worth basically emphasizing. No? For instance, this huge impact on water consumption. It's still very difficult to measure the amount of water that data centers spend. It's something a little bit hidden. We wanted to make it more transparent and help you be more sustainable and efficient with that. But as of today, an average data center is estimated to consume the amount of water in an Olympic swimming pool every 2 days. It's crazy. And also the efficiency, all these ratios, power usage effectiveness and efficiency KPIs basically stay at a similar level since 2013. So not huge changes. And the limiting factor is obviously these traditional air cooling technologies that cannot keep up with the growth of densities and all these trends in edge and so on. No? So we see also these trends around edge computing, which imply having data centers popping up in different regions, also affecting the climate, affecting the real estate price, the location, and so on. And on the other density side of things, semiconductor companies like Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, they are racing between each other to pack more logical capacity in their chipsets, and to do so due to physical limitations on transistors and its efficiencies, they need to feed more electricity into those. Like in the automobile many decades ago, even a century ago, we need liquid to refrigerate the compute. No? All that with all these macro incentives and regulations around sustainability, like, for instance, the EU sustainability taxonomy, all this non-financial reporting, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously, our investors can help us help you do that correctly and get into that exciting journey, but also necessary journey of net zero. With an upside also of the circular economy, reusing heat, all these sort of things. No? All in all, when you compare the state of the art, different technologies, basically we came that the conclusion was that the most balanced solution is our implementation of the technology, sustainability, total cost of ownership, flexibility on location and hardware, standardization and partnerships, being future-proof, but also help you now, today. So basically, as people from BlackRock say, basically every company and every industry will be transformed by the transition to the net zero, to a net zero world. Will you lead or will you follow?
We're definitely going to try and lead it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll say we're already leading it, but are the audience or the potential customers going to follow or going to lead these trends? So let's take a look on the polls. How are they looking? And wow, it looks like marketing is winning the race. So I'm a bit surprised. You have not seen marketing performance yet, but what you'll see now just in a minute. So let's go to the business cases, the business scenarios. So we'll go to Beatriz Bardiza, 𝘱𝘳𝘦𝘤𝘦𝘚, and Adrian Whelan.
Thanks, Gloria. And hi, everyone. I'm delighted to present a green project deployed in Australia. ResetData is a 100% immersion-cooled data center for cloud services. It's the first sustainable data center with the commitment of zero carbon emissions and zero waste of water by 2025. So it seems it's a data center that makes sense, as is where sustainability and performance meet. So I would like to introduce Bas Salat, the co-founder of ResetData.
Hi, I'm Bas Salat of ResetData, and today I'm here to talk about immersion cooling and Submer. So why immersion cooling? Well, there's 4 key benefits for us. The first is sustainability. And we're not just talking about a marginal improvement in sustainability, we're talking about a significant improvement in sustainability. The second benefit for us is capital cost. And there's a significant reduction for us in the capital costs of the IT infrastructure, but also the land cost as well as the building envelope costs. The third thing for us is the operating costs, and there's a reduction in cooling of the IT server equipment, but also reduction in IT hardware failure and a reduction in maintenance cost. The fourth thing for us is really about an improvement in workload computation. So we're able to address a different segment of the market by using immersion cooling. It's a segment that is rising. It's about high density, higher computational workloads. So they're the 4 things that really derive the benefit of immersion cooling for reset data. So what are the main benefits of working with Submer? Well, first and foremost, it's really the team. I mean, you've got a really highly skilled team of subject matter experts who know the product really well and understand its application in the various environments. They're not only a great team of experts, they're actually a good group of people to work with and easy to do business with. The second thing is really the product. I mean, it's engineered and built to the best-in-class standard in the market. And really the third thing is the brand. I mean, you've got a brand you can rely on in every aspect. So they're the reasons why we work with Submer.
Thanks, Bas, and thanks for your trust and commitment with Submer. And now, all over to you, Bertil.
Thank you so much, Beatrice. I'm happy to be here with you. My name is Bertil Brendeke, VP of Sales in EMEA. And I would like to introduce you to our partner, Telefónica. As you know, Telefónica is a global telecom operator, but also a forward thinker in the area of sustainability and a circular economy. And Telefónica has proven to be a leader in innovation. And therefore, we work together to make sure that they make their KPIs work on sustainability and circular economy, but also they have a good eye on the total cost of ownership. And it is with pleasure I introduce you to Pablo.
Hello, Submer team. Firstly, thank you for allowing us to participate in your event. To be innovator is part of our DNA. As an example, 15 years ago, despite the market call us crazy, we implemented a free cooling direct solution, which was a revolution into the data center world. Today, we have thousands of sites with the same solution. Nevertheless, now the challenge is higher. The growth of the data is exponential, and we are very committed to reduce our carbon footprint. We believe that 2 of the main keys to achieve these objectives are reduce the consume and limit the use of the refrigerant gases. In this way, we trust on the immersion cooling technology created by Submer. And with the same risk to be called crazy again, we are implementing a trial in our Bellas Vistas central office, where we expect to reach a PUE close to 1.1 and verify that this solution can run without chiller equipment. In other words, Telefónica is strongly committed with this technology, and we hope that this trial will be a reality in 2022.
Thank you for this great explanation. And now I would like to hand over to my colleague, Adrian Whelan.
Thanks, Bertil. So I'm going to walk you through the business case of IWB. IWB is a utility company in the beautiful city of Basel in Switzerland. And they're deploying both the Micropods and SmartPod XLs across the whole city to reuse the heat. So I will now hand you over to Dominic, who will give you a little bit more detail on the deployment. Over to you, Dominic.
IWB supplies the Great Basel region with energy, drinking water, telecom and mobility. In Switzerland, IWB is the first port of call for climate-friendly energy. So why immersion cooling? We believe that it is possible to combine digitalization and sustainability. So therefore, we were looking for a solution that would allow us to heat buildings with IT equipment. After a lot of research, the most flexible solution for us was immersion cooling. Which are the main benefits about working with Submer? Submer is characterized by its uncomplicated nature and willingness to help. The openness to discuss or even implement new approaches are also very helpful for us. For us, it was important to show that the utilization of waste heat works technically and that the use of the components is flexible. We could prove this. So now we are looking forward for the next steps.
Okay, thank you, Dominic. And I'll now hand you back to Gloria, who will give you the latest update on how the polls are looking.
Yes, let's see, because it doesn't look good for sales, right?
No, time to get your wetsuit, guys.
Well, I'm happy to dive into our great fluid, as long as you make sure that the temperature is set to the right point, and we'll take a gamble.
But please, it's our only opportunity to see the founders swim in coolant. Please, vote for founders.
What do you think on that?
Oh dear, no, I've already taken a shower today. No, thank you.
Okay, well, you'll still have some opportunities to vote, so please vote now. And we'll continue with the company positioning. So what's this session about? But first of all, let's have a refresh of what's the company's mission. No, Paul?
Let's do that. Our ambition as a company, our vision is to enable next-generation cooling and automation for data and energy-intense environments by integrating our pristine, highly efficient, and sustainable technologies. So as you can see, these keywords emphasize our values, these sustainability values, being efficient, cost-effective, but also a clean environment, so adding an abstraction layer to the complexity and a potential perceived exoticness of immersion cooling. We make it simple, easy, and very efficient. And we do that not only for the challenges of today, but also being future-proof. So solving the challenges of today and powering the use cases of tomorrow. And if you notice also, we cover the broader spectrum of the data center space with these data and energy-intense environments, because you will see now in this company structure and business units that we created, we are receiving a lot of organic interest from different types of organizations that have this heat or somehow temperature challenge that we can help with, and we do that thanks to these different areas, no?
Yeah, we've decided to break down a little bit to have a more specific focus on our different business units and how we tackle the industry. We have very different types of customers and needs out there. So Submer Cools focuses on our flagship products, everything that's already out there and being delivered at scale. Submer Scales focuses on co-developing and co-designing systems with hyperscale and large colo providers to enable future-proof facilities down the road. And Submer Labs does all that wacky technology, develops all that wacky technology that we as geeks and as a startup love. And that's where 𝘱𝘬𝘦𝘤𝘢𝘕 was born, our robotics platform.
That's our kitchen, our cooking area where we can be creative and innovative.
Yes, yes, innovation around fluid, innovation around how things come together in a liquid world, and also, of course, robotics that we are true believers in.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because since we are a company that have all this expertise in the different areas, the thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, the hardware, electronics, and so on, we understand the full picture, no? And that's why we have exciting partners to work with.
Yeah, and now that we've seen this, where does the customer or the end user or people like the audience fit in all these roadmap on technology and strategic units, right? And here is where the Submer solutions come in place. Here you have 4 areas of applications: cloud, edge, HPC, high performance computing, and AI and machine learning. And then we have a lot of products configured and packaged up, ready to be used. Thanks to our work with our partners, we team up with them, and then we configure this solution, which is basically a 3-level of solution to give to our end user, and it's basically the platform with the hardware. Then we have the platform with the hardware and the software, and then we have the last one, which is the lake solution, which is a customized solution depending on the needs of the customer. Basically, all of this is easier to approach to companies that are not super data center industry related, and of course the data center industry too, where you can look for the solution that is the best fit for you, depending on the strengths or the problems that the solution solves, depending on the applications, and also filtering by the industry that you're working with. And now this being said, let's take another quick look into the polls.
Things are changing.
Yeah, surprisingly, that looks like marketing is winning now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, but
looks like. Okay, so maybe my performance and their performance wasn't that good? No, I think our performance was amazing, so that wasn't it. Okay, so we'll keep going. And of course, next super important section is portfolio innovations by the hands of Justin Cas and David Montes.
Thank you, Gloria.
Hello, Gloria. Hello, everyone.
And just remember, this is a popularity contest. We don't want to win, so if you like me and David, send the votes somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So we're here to talk about innovation with SmartPod and the SmartPod family. So David, can you take me through the four areas, kind of start with the basics?
Yeah, the SmartPod, so our flagship product. So we've got the tank, the black thing that you see here where all the servers are located. We've got the fluid. It's warm, it's great. Also, we've got the CDU, where this is actually the brain of the system, and we also have the software platform, which is controlling everything, even though we cannot see it now.
Excellent, very cool. So a tank this size, what kind of heat dissipation are we looking at?
Yeah, so in this case, we can remove up to 100 kilowatts of heat. And the good thing is that almost 100% of that heat is, virtually 100% of that heat is transferred into the fluid and later on into the water loop, so that we can make use of that heat, right, later on.
And what do you mean make use of the heat? That's different than a lot of people might hear in air-cooled data centers.
Yeah, so imagine, we have the hot fluid, it is, and we can use it. So usually we would have the SmartPod with the CDU connected to a dry cooler, right? So we would get rid of the heat. That's a good starting point, but we can do even better. We can take advantage of the fluid being warm, and we can drive it, for example, to any existing district heating network, like in a big scale or in a smaller scale. We can go down even to building heating, right? We could even heat up this set that we are on today.
Okay. And so while immersion cooling might be different, right? It's not complicated as we see on the screen. A series of pumps, CDU. It's pretty simple. So one application, the data center vertical, running HPC, AI, machine learning, we were able to turn essentially unused space, a lobby of actually one of our customers, into a tier-ready data center. So you'll see no raised floors, no ducting, a very simple process to turn really any white space into a very dense data center.
That's correct.
And David, so the SmartPod XL Plus has been the workhorse of the SmartPod family. Over the last 12 months, customers have driven growth and scale into our solutions. Can you tell me how we're dealing with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we keep evolving our products, and this is one of the innovations that we want to present today. So we've got what we call the SmartPod block, which is essentially a set of 12 tanks like this one, together with two separate external CDUs that you can place wherever you want in your data center. So it is adaptable to any layout. And the two main characteristics are that we get an even better TCO, and also that we don't need to get any water to the tanks.
Okay. Okay, so SmartPod for scaling in 50, 100, 200 kilowatt increments, and the block perhaps for 1 megawatt increments. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And taking economies of scale, instead of having pumps in the CDU, we're taking them out, putting them in a centralized unit, reduced maintenance costs, reduced maintenance activities, very nice scalable way to do things.
That's correct. And Justin, a question for you now. What if we wanted to place or to use SmartPods in any other way? Do you have any idea?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've talked about, more or less in the data center type of applications, but people are driving density, hardware, networking to the edge. So as Danny mentioned previous, we came out with Megapod roughly a year ago. A very nice way, again, talking about megawatt type deployments to get to the edge. So deploying our SmartPods in a modular containerized system. So a lot of verticals that are applicable here. We've got the financial sector. We have a customer who wanted to leave the expensive colo next to their fiber hub. They actually brought their hardware back onto their own site, deploying Megapods with very, very dense equipment. We've got education and research companies that did not want to clear the whole data center. They'd rather add on their immersion system kind of in a white space in their own parking lot. And really, sky's the limit. We're talking to military and defense organizations that are talking about burying a Megapod. If you can dream it up, we'd love to talk to you. Just so many different neat applications that we can hit with the Megapod.
That's cool. And for sure, they all love these quick deployments.
Absolutely, yeah. So we ship the Megapod. It completely turnkey, ready, plug and play. It's plumbed. It has electrical, a dry cooler to fit the size of SmartPods that are there. Really, what we do is we load it off of a truck, connect the dry chiller to the piping, hook up electricity. We can even ship with servers in the Megapod, fill it with fluid, and you've got a tier-ready data center anywhere in the world.
Actual plug-and-play situation.
Yeah. So one more, the smaller sibling, the outdoor version of Megapod is the Micropod. So why don't you come on over and we'll take a look.
Let's go. Yeah, so here we are with our Micropod. Again, 4 key components to the Micropod. So on this half, we've got the tank, we've got the fluid with the servers inside, and on the other half, we've got the cooling unit. And also, of course, the fourth one is the software platform that we cannot see either, but it is here with us.
Okay, and I see like a gasketed lid, indoor, outdoor rated. Can you tell us about that?
Exactly, so this is, the reason for this is actually specifically that one. We can use this wherever we want, outdoors, indoors. It's ready for any deployment.
Okay, so we see this, whatever edge you want to talk about, fog edge, far edge, there's a lot of different edges around there now that we hear about. So you think 5G, you think cloud, hosting, gaming, streaming at the edge. Companies are wanting the compute closer to households, in neighborhoods, et cetera. So the Micropod's a great option whenever you hear edge.
It absolutely is. Yeah, and now some innovations related to the Micropod as well. We've got 3 of them. The first 2 of them, related to the cooling unit, and the third one related to the tank. So now we can select between the chiller, the dry cooler, this is a new one, and also we can implement heat reuse capabilities. So we could use this, for example, we could put it in the basement of your house, Justin, and heat it up. That would be nice.
I think the kids would love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the innovation related to the tank is that we are now able to house 21 inches OCP servers with the bus bars and the power shelves and so on.
Excellent. So super versatile. Again, sky's the limit. We love innovating and architecting solutions. So more to come. And so things are looking better for sales. Love it. Thank you. Means we did a good job. So how are we sitting here?
Yeah, it looks like now sales is not the winning horse. Now looks like the founder. So I might think that 𝘱𝘬𝘦𝘤𝘢𝘬 made some of this. So someone to blame, I would say it's 𝘱𝘬𝘦, you know.
This doesn't look good for us, Paul.
Oh my God.
Is this like the final? It's still not the final score.
It's still not the final, but well, first of all, thank you very much for David and Justin for this explanation on the portfolio. This is not the last poll, but after the session that is going right now, which is Submer Vision, then that's it. Whatever goes up into that screen, that's what we're going to face. I mean, it's you, it's marketing, I don't know, but we have to face it.
The last few minutes to vote.
Yeah, let's see. So, Submer Vision, what can you tell us about the roadmap, the mission, the vision of Submer?
Absolutely. So, we'd like to tap into how it all comes together and how our product portfolio addresses the different use cases and different customer needs. So as can be seen in this presentation, we've spoken about our edge capabilities with the Micropod and the Megapod, ranging from just a few kilowatts at the edge all the way up to a megawatt at the edge. So incredible building blocks for a quick deployment, prefabricated, plug and play type of systems that you can get out in the field quickly and that can run in harsh environments. David spoke about the SmartPod block, which is really addressing some of the requirements and expectations from our hyperscale and large colo customers as they deploy bigger scales and look for these prefabbed building blocks that can be rolled out quickly, that have a much more aggressive TCO, that are easier to use. And then obviously tapping into our data center product line. Paul, maybe you want to talk about it.
Sure. So the flagship product, the SmartPod platform, we have the X, XL, XL Plus, different configurations. It can be also used for edge applications and heat reuse and so on. But the typical to be deployed in a traditional raised floor in a traditional data center would be the SmartPod platform. And then more on this right side, we have other components of our set of portfolio of technologies that basically connect the different elements, like the network backplane that we introduced last year for basically interfacing between the hardware and the SmartPods and the actual racks and so on without cabling and allow the automation with the ADA. We have the software stack that adds this abstraction layer to the monitoring of the system and basically it simplifies the operation of everything and connects the different elements while also exposing, if the customer wants very relevant information around your thermodynamic heat exchanging process, this why not reporting of efficiencies and so on, so help you in this net zero journey in the non-financial reporting, and basically orchestrates all the different elements like the fluid being present on all this set of technologies in the left side. No? So basically we have the key pieces of the puzzle to make data centers that make sense. And by the way, now that we explain a little bit the overview, we'll cover a bit more on the next steps around automation, and our CTO, Scott, please.
Wants to share some words with us.
Hi, my name is Scott Nopum. I'm Submer CTO. For much of my career, I've been responsible for keeping the lights on in data centers around the world, and the expectation is really almost being everywhere always. And I think, you know, thinking back over the years, that might be a few reasons why I don't have a lot more hair to lose. But anyway, along those lines of things, aloha from Hilo, Hawaii. This is my place here. And I'm currently, probably about the furthest away from a data center that one can get. And I think kind of the timing's fitting because between COVID and kind of remote work now going mainstream, we've not only had to figure out social distancing, but now to go along with that, we have server distancing. So anyway, here I am about 8,000 miles away from 𝘱𝘬𝘦𝘤𝘚, our data center robot. And while I'm here, she's going to be putting in a full day's work in a way really that only she can. 𝘱𝘬𝘦, you know, is real happy to work 24 hours a day, have no lunch break, no calling in sick, no mistakes. And doesn't even mind working for a lower cost. That's obviously not me in Hawaii. And obviously I don't have many more hairs to lose, so I'd say Ada is a big help. So anyway, what Julie and Jonathan are going to show you today from the lab in Barcelona is an example of Ada's first iteration, really designed to work in today's data centers, from smaller scale to hyperscale, really white space as we know it today. But you know, after this first look, we're really working on simpler versions of Ada that reflect smarter data centers in the future. One example would be swapping a server in a 60-foot tall by 60-foot wide rack that kind of symbolizes, probably most familiar with a warehouse structure, tomorrow's smarter data warehouses. Within hours, being able to install a megawatt worth of servers and only a 40 by 9-foot container that's used in the blockchain space, so we can get to work processing that blockchain, you know, right in time. To a drone or an Amazon delivery truck delivering, you know, to a Micropod that may be sitting, you know, a mile away from anything in the high desert of anywhere, to be able to get that spare, you know, into production. Anyway, I'm happy to introduce Ada to you, and I hope, you know, she's exciting to you as she is to me, and can really be anything you need to be, even when you're in Hawaii. Aloha.
Thank you, Scott, for your words. It was a pity that you couldn't make it this year to the set here in Barcelona, but well, that's it. So let's take a last view on the polls. Are you ready?
It's not looking good for us, Paul.
Fingers crossed.
So, okay. I'm so happy that I'm not going to, to take a bus. So it looks like the founders won the lottery.
This is
know?
going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I've heard we've got Peter at the scene, so
yeah.
There's professionals assisting us.
You feel more safe, right?
I feel safer now that Peter's there. Yeah.
Please don't try this at home.
I mean, last time I was with Peter, he was using a blowtorch, so let's see this time what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, how this is going to work. Well, we're still missing one section. We're still missing one section, which is the robotics development. So while you two are going to change for the challenge, I will go and take a visit to Jonathan and Julia that are waiting for me on the other set. Okay.
Let's do this.
So see you in a few minutes. Prepare for the challenge.
Thank you. I hope it's not naked. Thank you.
See you now.
Bye.
Bye. Hi.
Hi, Gloria.
How are you?
Fine,
Julia and Jonathan.
Fine.
Welcome to the Submer Experience 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we start with anything, I would like to ask you a more emotional, personal question. Like, how did you feel when Submer brought you the challenge of creating and developing an autonomous platform for data centers?
Well, on my side, I was really excited and curious, but also saying where we should start, but also eager to start and saying, yes, when we start, because this is a really innovative project and it's super exciting.
Yeah, from my side, I hadn't had the opportunity before to do a high amount project. So I was a bit scared, but then when I saw the team, I think that I had no doubt that we made it, or we are going to make it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Now let's talk about Ada. What can Ada platform assist with?
Yes, Ada is about picking and placing servers from a rack or a SmartPod. So based on this main feature of Ada, Ada is really useful in the day-to-day of a data center when there is an issue with a server to pick it and place it or replace it, swapping them. But also is really useful when you need to commission or decommission a data center. The commissioning is like deploying a new data center or deploying a new data center. So that's really useful in terms of operational. And yes, and also Ada can work all the hours of the day and all the days of the year, so it's really useful.
She doesn't need any rest.
No.
No. Also, she is endowed with cameras and thermal cameras, so she can monitor whatever happens in real time. So she can detect if there is some anomalies or there is something that is not working well and report to the DC master. Also, she can detect if there is some inventory needs to be done or, well, and also she has an AI integrated to detect if something is not working well. So she can prevent if something has to be replaced or anything that it could be happen there in a data center. Yeah.
So she tells you the status of the IT at the moment, but she can also predict any kind of risk or failure that is coming that could happen, right?
Yeah, totally. With the
Amazing.
AI, you have the possibility to know or predict the future. Yeah.
Okay. She knows the future, Ada. Okay. Okay. And what's next for Ada? Do you have any upgrades planned?
Yeah. First of all, what we want to test or to test Ada in different kind of layouts, and also make her work like in different kind of layouts. Also, made her work better with its speed, work smoother, and work without any kind of problem. And first of all, the last thing, it's to test or to give Ada more capabilities in AI, make her more intelligent, and to face new problems that can be in her day. So
more agile and smarter solving problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we will also enable Ada to integrate with other third-party platforms, because Ada is it's important to have Ada able to communicate with other system that owns the owner of the data center, to be able to the data center operator to send orders to Ada. Then, for example, asking for picking and placing a certain server in certain rack or certain SmartPod.
So she's gonna be she's agnostic to the layout, to the physical interaction, let's say, but she will also be flexible, agnostic, and adaptive to the environment on software or applications that the data center has.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. And last but not least, what challenges did you face when developing Ada? That I'm sure there were a few.
Yeah, a lot of challenges. First, as you may know, 2 years ago, Submer was not a robotic company, so we need to create the team from scratch. A lot of different disciplines we need to get together, and it was a really tough task. And then we get through this with Ivan, Joan, Ismael, Julia, and myself, and it's really great.
A fun team, I would say.
Yeah, we had a good time together. Yeah, having a multidisciplinary team, it's really hard to work together when you have a lot of different kind of disciplines. It means hardware, software, vision, control. It's really, really hard. But I think that in our case, having the team that we have has made it really easy to work together. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But that's internally challenged, let's say. But what about the outside? What threats or challenges did you find when developing Ada?
I think that the main thing is that the data centers wasn't prepared for robots, so there is no standardization for robotics. So the aisles are really narrow. The floors are they're different depending on the data center, so it's not pristine. Different customer, each customer is different. So I think that is the main challenge that we have to face with Ada.
So we would say that the lack of standardization on the data center industry was a really important challenge on the interaction with robotics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Total.
Anything else?
Yes, and it's not only about layout of the data center, it's also about the servers, what we are interacting with.
Of course.
And the servers has multiple weights and dimensions. They can fit on the full width of the rack, but there can be also narrower. So we need to get rid of that, and also about the preparation of the servers that are not prepared for robotics, so we need also to get through that.
Yeah, because they're not designed to be interacting with robotics.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd said you faced a lot of challenges then.
A lot. Okay, so we had to face a lot of challenge with Ada, but with the best team, I think that we face it and we overcome that. So I think that we could be really proud of it.
Yes, yes, this project is really is a real vital step on the path of the greater automation of inside the data centers. And we and Sudma as a whole, we are really, really proud to be at the forefront of the movement of designing and constructing those kind of innovative projects such as Ada.
Yeah, I'll say we can be really proud. You can be really proud.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Ada, because I would say it's the first step on automations for data centers. And I don't know, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
And now I have to leave, but I'll see you on the Q&A. Now it's the time for our Smart Coolant expert and the amazing challenge. So see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
So hi, Peter, how are you?
Hi, Gloria, I'm great.
So while we wait for Danny and Paul to get ready for this amazing bath, tell me a little bit the highlights of the Smart Coolant.
Yeah, so the Smart Coolant, as you all know, is Submer's proprietary dielectric fluid. It's a fluid that we've developed over a number of years based on our experience with several immersion cooling fluids. And what we've done is we've targeted the best properties of all the coolants that we tested and really tailor-made it for immersion cooling.
Okay, and while we wait, because they're not ready yet, why is this good for the hardware and the planet?
Yeah, so it's good for the planet, first of all, because it's readily biodegradable by the OECD 301 standard. It's rated as readily biodegradable. It's also great for the hardware because basically you've got no oxidation happening. You don't have to worry about things like corrosion, dust, moisture, vibrations, any of the typical things that you would experience in an air-cooled data center.
So we reduce hardware failure somehow, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So all of that contributes to a reduced number of hardware failures.
Great. So let's see. Yeah, they look like ready.
We're ready. Here we are.
So,
I think no one's done this before, but we're very eager to get into a SmartPod for the first time.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Immersion first.
I think we've been in it without fluids before.
Well, first of all, let's say that we do not recommend to do this at home or at your data center, so please do not try it. These are founders, okay, but this is a specialist, an expert that we have here, and this is super safe because it's our Smart Coolant. Why this is safe and this is not completely crazy? We're not going to lose our founders. Peter, please explain to us.
Yeah, so despite the fact that it looks a lot like water, it's actually 8 times less conductive than water. So that's why they're fully safe to be putting themselves inside the pod. It's also food grade by the NSF International, so
oh my God, I'm sorry, I cannot.
Actually, it's nice. Look, the server's on.
Bring me a cocktail, please.
Okay, so how are you guys feeling?
I feel fine. It's
wet, maybe?
It's like a spa, essentially. It's like a spa.
And I think you have a server on there, right?
Yeah, there's a server switched on here. Yeah, I think
yeah, you can see that
the hard drive maybe.
There is a power supply over there, a PDU, sorry, powering the server. So
I've never
all running safely.
We never replaced the smart drive from actually inside the pod.
It is warm at least.
A little bit, yeah. And that's why we can do heat reuse, by the way, because we can capture the heat very efficiently. Okay.
Okay, so is this all? We want to make any kind of demonstration? Because I remember last year.
Yeah, I think we should up the ante a little bit, right? I don't have my blowtorch with me this time, but I've got something else. So.
Oh.
When are you going to surprise us with?
Oh my God.
So here I've got the hair dryer. You can see I've been using it a little bit. Used it this morning. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes inside the SmartPod with Paul and Penny inside. Hairdryer on. Let's test the waters a bit.
Do we have a safety button over there or something? Okay.
Whoa.
I can see it blowing bubbles there.
Okay.
Can you spray some?
Okay.
So it does work.
It does work. So the liquid is 8 times less conductive than air. We can basically say that. And yeah, that's it.
Does it
Please.
still work? It should. Oh, shit. Okay.
So please do not try this at home or in your data center, okay? These are experts under really, really controlled circumstances. And well, thank you very much. I'm gonna ask you to wait here till I take a look on the Q&A so you can answer them here. So see you in a minute, and thank you very much for this challenge. I think that we can all applaud what they just made. So. Hi.
Hello, Gloria.
Hi.
Hi. So the Q&A part, these are the questions selected from the team, the most frequently asked questions. So first of all, how much of an impact do you think new policies and rules will impact the industry this year? Do you think we're heading towards an era of more regulations? Let's ask this to 𝘱𝘬𝘦𝘤𝘬𝘢 and Adrian.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Absolutely a brilliant question. It can take a very short answer, which is yes, or a longer answer, which is yes, but for instance, within the European Union, we have 27 countries. Every country will provide its own new regulations, legislation, or code of conduct. So sincerely, we hope that the European Union will have one code of conduct where all the data centers will work against. And as far as we know, as Submer, our solution complies to all the new sets of rules which are coming towards us.
Yeah, and also, 𝘱𝘬𝘦𝘤𝘬𝘢, I think on a business perspective, there would be a green quota and tax reductions if you're adopting technology that with a sustainable impact. So I think it's really important for everyone to be an early adopter on this type of disruptive technology. So basically, we have to be on a sustainable path.
Cool. Thanks, B. I mean, in APAC, being the newest region, so we say, it's already happening. So governments, it's their top 3 criteria that all data centers need to have a green footprint, and any new data center being built now has to have that at its heart of what it's going to be. So I'd say from an APAC perspective, if you don't have that in your mandate, you won't be building a data center.
All advantages with us.
Okay, I see here 2 questions around ADA, or Autonomous Data Center Assistant. So this first one is going to Jonathan. Jonathan, is ADA autonomous to move around data center?
Yes, ADA is totally able to move freely around the data center. There is no cables, so she can get to any point to data centers. And in terms of autonomy, battery autonomy, ADA, the goal of ADA is having 0 charging time and to be able to work the most of the time. So that's our goal.
Thanks for that answer. I think it was quite explanatory. Now this one is for Julia. Is ADA compatible with regular racks and different structures or immersion cooling tanks?
Yeah, Ada is ready to work with racks and also with immersion cooling tanks. Also, she's ready to detect and also interact with 19 inches servers, and also the 21 inches that it's OCP standard.
Thank you, Julia, for that answer. Now, Justin, how can a non-data center industry-related organization, like a bank or a gaming company, adopt this technology?
Well, I'm happy that the question's easier than the voting, because sales, we're starting to sweat a little bit. So fairly easy answer, actually, right? So as we mentioned, immersion is different, but it's not hard. But being different, we're here to hold customers and partners' hands all throughout the process, from design to supplying all the different components. We rely on a lot of partnerships across the world, from what's in the SmartPod with ready immersion-specific servers that are being made in coordination with Submer, to the chillers, to everything, piping, etc. So it's definitely a need that Submer has identified, and we've actually come up with Submer-specific solutions, which, Gloria, was kind of your brainchild, so I'll let you explain, hand it to you.
Well, that's true. Basically, the Submer solution is a good fit for this kind of question, because if you are a gaming company or a retail company that, of course, you have a CTO and a technical department, but you're not super related to immersion cooling, you can just check our products on the website and see that basically your industry and your kind of application fits. You'll have a turnkey solution at your place with a fast deployment, and you'll see that you will reach all the KPIs that either regulation, sustainability, or even your own company in cost efficient and performance are trying to reach, right? So that was a good answer, yeah. Next one, David. Servers, it looks like, are these servers regular ones? What kind of servers you can submerge, or what you have to do to them to put them in the liquid?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. So in essence, you can submerge any kind of server. I guess that you can see the tank now. Over here, we've got 19-inch servers. Over there, we've got 20-inch OCP servers. They can be either regular servers, so air-cooled servers with some retrofitting. We basically remove the fans and adjust the firmware. Or, which is even better, you can use immersion-ready servers to take the most of the technology.
Okay, so basically I think this is a PowerShelf, right?
That's a PowerShelf.
So I can...
You want to try?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, sometimes it's heavy.
Excellent.
Okay, that's it. Now, next. Crypto. I've heard about you having some crypto immersion cooling product line based on containerized systems. Is this true? Why isn't this on your website? This is a challenging one, so this is going to be for Daniel.
Yes, great question. So we have been developing immersion cooling technology and taking our current designs to the crypto space. We will be public about it. So far, we've been operating in stealth mode, these developments, but expect that we'll be announcing and showing these systems. They are tailored towards large institutional deployments, large miners. But yeah, expect us in the space, I guess.
Thanks, Danny. Now let's go to a Smart Coolant question. Peter, then. Is your liquid a regular liquid? It is like other cooling companies? I would say more or less what's the difference between our competitors, maybe, Peter?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as I mentioned earlier, actually what we've done is we've had a lot of experience using other immersion cooling fluids, and based on that experience, we've optimized and developed our own immersion cooling fluid, which is the Smart Coolant. The way I describe it is it's like the Goldilocks solution. So it's we've optimized the thermal properties, things like viscosity, at the same time as things like environmental properties, biodegradability. And also we've optimized the performance, so things like oxidation and things that impact the performance of the servers. Those are the three key things I would say that differentiate our smart coolant from other immersion cooling fluids on the market.
Our last question for Paul. Let's say I manage a fintech corporation. Why I should adopt this technology if the company does not really need it right now?
Thank you for the question. Fintech is a large term, I would say, so depending on your needs, but basically the modularity of our technology allows us to be compatible with many, many use cases, like low latency applications. We have fintech customers applying our SmartPods or even Micropods close to the end usage so that we can have low latency applications. We also have deployments that depend on regulations, local regulations. They have to have some sort of on-premise compute capacity, so we can be very flexible in that regard. The TCO makes sense for everyone, so there's also this need for higher densities in some cases, some sort of HPC or blockchain applications, etc., that require FPGAs or hyper-convergent hardware. So for all cases, we have a solution, and as Gloria mentioned before, all this packaged up solution with our partners, I'm sure it will be a good fit.
So thank you, Paul, for that answer. And we've run out of time. I hope you had a really good time. We actually enjoyed this quite a bit. Hope to see you next year. Thank you very much. You'll receive a post package on the event on email. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci. Ciao.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this Submer Experience. And please don't hesitate to reach out because we will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Goodbye. Bye.
Submer, data centers that make sense.